There are pianists that become wizards of the instrument. And then there is Ptah Williams, an artist who, well, is a master of his craft. Hardly a novice to the local jazz scene, this musician has put in 35 years of displaying an uncanny ability for making even the old songs sound brand new. How did it all begin? Williams makes it sound so simple.
I used to go to the piano and pick out nursery rhymes, and I used to hear my older brother play piano, and I used to hear him practicing, and he played piano and violin. He would go, he would be practicing on some classical stuff or whatever, and I would hear what he was doing, and I would go to the piano and single-handedly just play the notes out on the piano, you know. I would listen to what he was doing, and I don't know, it was just something in me that I could find the key that he was, specific key that he was playing. I think it was one song he used to play was by Johann Sebastian Bach called Jesus, Joy, and Mein Desire. And I used to hear him play that, and I was just fascinated, with the sound of the piano, and I just started picking out nursery rhymes and different things, that I would hear, and then I would just go to the piano and just do it. And it made my mother, and one day they heard me doing this, and they were, I didn't know anybody was around, and they were up on the balcony looking down, and I was playing, and when I finished playing, they all clapped, like, wow, he's good, And then my mother asked me that I wanted to go and take lessons. So I took lessons from a man down the street from me named Mr. Peppers, and I studied with him for about a year. In my first year, I won a piano contest, and I got real good. And he told my mother that I was getting advanced, and I should move on. So my brother at the time was dating a young lady that was a violinist, gifted violinist, and she turned my mother on to this music school called Community Music School, which was a private school, and I started taking lessons there. And man, I've been playing ever since.
With a wave of the Almighty's hand, he was born a musical prodigy to an already musically inclined family, including his parents, 3 brothers, and 1 sister, all blessed with artistic talent in music. At age 12, Williams was a guest pianist with the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra. Ptah was a 1976 graduate of Beaumont High School in St. Louis. While attending Beaumont, Williams showed his classical music ability as pianist for the Beaumont Concert Choir under the direction of the late Larry Wade.
Well, I went to college. I went to Webster University. I got a degree in performance there, and I also got another degree there in jazz studies. Then, I went to I studied up in Boston for a while at this music camp one summer for 7 weeks, and that was a good experience. And I played the piano concerto. I did some classical music. And then I fell in love with jazz, man. I used to listen to like Herbie Hancock and Miles Davis, Chick Corea, and Charlie Parker, Bud Powell, those guys, man. And the classical music, I love classical music, but when I heard this music, it was like, it changed my whole life. I said, this is what I want to do.
Just when you think you know the artists that have had a major influence on Williams' musical career, think again.
And then I heard the great Art Tatum, man. Whew. That did it, And, it was just so much. I never heard this kind of music. I never knew it existed.
After forming a jazz fusion group in the 1980s, Williams now has a jazz trio who performs locally at 2 University City Loop area locales. Wriggles on Wednesday evenings, and on Sunday evenings at the Del Mar Bar and Grill. Williams talks about the members that make up the group.
Dan Eubanks. I've been playing with Dan. I've been playing with Dan since, I think, off and on since 1995. I met Dan in 1994 when I went back to Webster and I got my degree in jazz studies, and that's where I met Dan. He was getting his master's. He was a great musician, man. And when we started playing, I hired him for a gig one time because I couldn't, when my regular bass player had something else. So I said, I'm gonna hire Dan. And then when I played with him, it was like, he was one of those type of musicians that, that has a lot of knowledge, but some guys have a lot of knowledge and you play with them, they just okay. I mean, they got all the bookwork and learning, but they don't have no feel. He sort of had both of them, the knowledge and the feel of playing, Plus, he was easy to work with, and we could communicate well, and he wrote a lot of music too, and he was just a well-versed musician. Gary Sykes on drums, been playing, I think about as long as I am, maybe 30, 35 years. I know he was a very gifted musician. I think his background basically come from a drum and bugle corps, playing, all the rudiments and things like that. He studied, he played in high school. A lot of musicians swear that every note that I play and that we play, it's like it's written out, but it's not. He plays the drums like my fingers move across the keys.
Despite being a two-time runner-up for the Riverfront Times Slammy Award for Best Jazz Group and seemingly not receiving much local publicity, the Ptah Williams Trio has a following. They are considered the Pied Pipers of the local jazz music scene. Ptah Williams, a local music legend, continuing to play jazz music his way. Reporting for See Here, I'm Eric Wilson.